Alright, what's up everyone? So today we are going to be working on our 2017 Klx110l and we're installing our BBR springs and the forks. First things you're going to want to do is put your bike on a stand or something like that to support it. So you'll be able to take this front wheel off right here. So you're going to undo this right here and then you slide your wheel out. It'll come right off your drum here. Some people say you got to take your fender off and your number plate. But we had a nice little ratchet here. This little swivel on there. 10 mil. You're able to get back here at these bolts. Just undo them a little bit. Same down here. We undid these. And then you just crack them with the screwdriver. And you're good to go. So, as you can see, once you pull the forks off and get your wheel off, you might get a little unbalanced on your stand. So you put like a ratchet strap or something over here. That'll help keep it balanced. So now we're on to the good stuff. I'm going to show you guys really quick what I got going on, but I won't be able to hold the camera very well. So I got our jack to our fork, the extension, and then I put a socket on here to give it a little bit wider stance. And now we're going to try to pick that thing out. Alright. Alright guys, if you guys can see how I got that screwdriver in there now? I got it pried apart away from that gap. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my pick underneath there and get it to pry up over that ledge. And then once I get that, I just work it way around, and usually I just grab it by hand at the very end and pull the rest of it out. So be careful not to tweak it too much. You don't want to bend that up if you plan on reusing it. Alright, just showing you guys one more time. See how I got the pick in there like that? So I'm going to work my way around and it'll just pop right out. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to drain this fork. Alright, so what they want you to do is to kind of pump it up and down to kind of get some of the fluid out. We've already done it. I'm just showing you guys the motions. And you want to let it drip upside down for a few minutes just to make sure you get all the fluid out. And then the next step will be getting our new springs out, getting these things loaded up, getting our fluid in, and then just installing them back in. And this is the oil we went with. Nice 15 weight fork oil. And it's like, I think it was like 18 bucks off Amazon. I think if you get it some places, you might get it for $12 if you're already like making an order through Faster Minis and all that. Originally it says like 163 millimeters or something like that fluid you put in there. Don't know if that's right or if it's wrong, but that's just factory specs, and now we're on the aftermarket stuff. And according to the BBR sheet, which I absolutely go by anything what they say to measure with the fork collapsed, no spring in there, to 4.6 inches down from the top as far as your oil level check. So I am going to, I kind of measured it a little bit. It looked like we were just a little bit over, like maybe like a 220-ish in millimeter for fluid. So we're going to try to measure the fluid out so we can get you a solid number so you know roughly on how much to pour in there. So we're going to get this sucker right here, and what we were using just our old quick 2-stroke mix canister here. So originally we were like right here in the half mark for 163, but we blew way past that and almost put like another 75 in there. So I'm probably going to start, well, I guess I would almost put us to an old 250 mark. But I'm going to do a little bit over 225. Let's say we're going to do about 230, 235. And we go right there, just a little bit over the mark, about halfway, and we're going to see where that puts us. Alright, so life lessons. One thing, pour slowly. Second thing, start out with less fluid and not too much. Overfilled it by just a little bit, that's okay. I would start yourself at the old 200 mark because we're about there on leftovers. And we spilt a little bit on the ground. There it is. But I'm going to show you now. So we just got a little tape measure, and let's see if I can prop you guys up here. Just like that. And all we do is we got our tape measure here. And what we do is we go to the 4.5 mark, and I've just been going just a smudge right past. And I've been calling that 4.6. So we've been going down. I'll show you guys. So we've been going down. I'll show you. 4.5. That's just like a little dip, and you guys see there, just a little drip on the end mark there, and that's what we're going for. We just kissed the fluid, Nothing really on the on the tape measure there, actually, on the yellow part. That's only from scraping the sides of forks, guys. But nothing really measured on here. We just tapped it. So the biggest thing is trying to keep this stuff even. So, I mean, as far as the forks are at least even, and this is what they call for, and the other one's already, like I said, put together, compresses nice, and I tell you, that spring is stiff. So that's going to be a sweet ride for sure. Definitely pumped out getting this ready. So now, pretty much got to do the opposite. So I guess I got you on video here, halfway decent. So next thing we're going to do is take our old spring, and it does not matter which way you put it in. And it would be a worse idea just to open her up. And then you just drop her in. Good to go. Seems almost too simple. I love it. Then you got your spacer, which goes on top, not on the bottom. And then remember, and it's going to stick out like that because you're going to compress it in, that your piece here, it's going to have the dimple on top, not on bottom. So you're going to want to make sure that seal goes in first, head first, and you'll compress that in. And now we're going to do our little trick with the jack like we did before. And like I told you guys when we were first doing it, 10 times easier putting it back in. See, I got it compressed here all the way. Again, using our jack system. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your clip and slide it on here. And you'll be able to literally compress this with your hands. Not the best sliding, guys, but this is what it is. You can see the clip in there. We got just in there with our fingers. All we're going to do is push down on this sucker. And she'll go right where she needs to go. I think we need to press up on this just a little bit. There she goes. She goes right. There you go. It's fully in there. Looking good. Oh, cap's back on. And don't worry about labeling your forks right, left, because they can only go on one way. All right, so we got our torque specs for your upper fork here. You're going to be at 15 foot-pounds, or it'll be 180 inch-pounds. And then down here is 22 foot-pounds, or that'll be 264 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to slide those forks back up in there, and what we're going to do is just kind of go just right above that brim right there. You'll see how we'll set them in. All right, so we're going to slide our forks in and get those torqued down and get this all buttoned up. Alright everyone, before I actually end this video, I wanted to show you guys obviously the springs. So they are super tight. I weigh about 225, and yeah, bike really stiff in the front end, feels really good. So everything feels right. And right now, since we have that factory spring in the back, I can feel it dipping down a little bit. And we did try to use up as much as we could as far as keeping these forks fully extended, instead of having them rise up a little bit and losing a little bit of our height. So we want to bike tall as possible. Other than that, she feels really good. So we gotta get our rear shock here, get this thing all dialed in, and I think it's gonna set the bike really nice, and we're gonna really enjoy riding this thing. All right, but I think that's it. Until next time, we'll see you later.